All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. I am your host, Augustine Sharif, and welcome to another edition of Table Talk. This is the segment where we just gather around the water cooler and we talk under the palava hut and we have our palm wine and we're drinking and we're just having friendly conversation. Mr. Sapolucia, how you doing today, boss?
Grace, we are doing well. The weather is good and bad because it's been raining all day. When you're about to get out of church, it rain. When you're going to church, it rain. When you're in church, the rain stops, and then as soon as you know you're about to get outside, then it starts to fall. But I got wet when I was going in. I got wet when I was coming out.
You know what? Sometimes the demon need to be rebaptized. So maybe rebaptize.
Yeah.
Oh man, but you know what, gentlemen, it's good to have you guys here. Basically, it's good. We are having some technical problems, so to our viewers, to our guests, we say sorry for the delay. We are going 50 minutes late, and our radio station is still sending me a message that we are still having the wrong text. Steve, if you can please kind of double check. He said the link is still not working. Dr. George is going to be joining us here, but let us see exactly what we can do and get the going. Um, so, Mr. Sapalucia, this week was an interesting week. Of all the things that we could probably be focused on and just listening to, the state of our nation and all that different stuff, it is something very insignificant that we're about to talk about. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, and because I was looking through trying to do trying to look through the various newspapers, and I saw there are other things that, in my opinion, that could be more relevant to talk about, like the case with the Supreme Court turning down the arson case. I mean, they're denying their request for whatever that the legal term is. I don't want to get into it, but and then other issues with the thing that happened in Nima County and all that stuff. But this is what the topic is about. But for this topic, I don't know from what context the president was speaking, because if you have followed Liberian politics in the last few years, those words have been thrown out there at president, and president use it, and opposition use it against the president or the leadership. So it depends the context you want to put onto that spin. That's how we'll leave it until we get into to what causes some of those things to happen.
All right, so we got our other guys are actually getting set up. Dr. George is going to be joining us. Dr. Positive is going to be joining us, and we're going to have a friendly discussion. We're going to be talking, and to our friends in Monrovia, Freedom FM 87.9, we say thank you for taking the broadcast live. Guys, I just want to talk about the sweet country that is Liberia. Sometimes we really want to get into the nitty gritty of politics, but again, it's just so crazy that our country has become so polarized that every little thing sometimes we just blow it up. I wish I could play the video. I had the video, but I lost it now. But I wish I could play the video. But for those who may not be acquainted with the statement we were speaking about. The president was having a cabinet meeting, and in his cabinet meeting, the president was actually speaking to his cabinet, and he was appreciating his people, telling his people, look. All right, so Dr. Post, the video, I can see pretty curious. Just go ahead and do that.
The necessary time might dictate how much more we can do. But I think it's just to say that you don't want to always keep you here too long. I know you have other things to do. But we want to say good morning again and thanks to all of you who during the time of the bereavement who pay a visit, pay tribute. Some of you who also even went to represent the government. I want to thank you all, especially the Minister of Justice who just returned, for the loss of a close friend and associate. I want to thank you all. It's a roll call, and all of us we have to respond to one day, but you know what it means for someone you've known for many, many years. Uh, it takes a lot of pain. I want to thank you all for the role you played. A good bit of representation was made from from here. Some of the other people who went, they haven't seen them again, but I hope they don't take it that they can just remain in the system like that. That's what the wife told me. Some of the family members from the day of the funeral, they all disappeared. They were not surprising. But on a serious note, and I don't normally say on needed that I'm very grateful to all of you for the services you render. And when you talk about public service, this is truly what you're doing. You receive insults when you even do the right thing, but that's the way it goes. Once you leave the job, they will not insult you, but not necessarily for the thing you are, but that's the human beings. That's who we are, especially the country that we're in. Reckless talking, disrespect, people are not trained, and they speak any kind of way. Some of them don't even know what they're talking about. But if you say you're not going to take that, you just leave public office. But I want to thank all of you for what you're doing to improve the condition.
So, Steven, let's stop the video there. Let's stop the video. Let's get the conversation going. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. So, Sapalusi, let me start with you. What do you make of the president's remark? And to our viewers, the reason we took maybe 4 or 5 minutes to play this video because we want to give you context. We don't want to just give you sound bites. We want to give you context. Hopefully, you can listen to the rest of the video as we move along. We'll play as we continue to go. But Mr. Sapalusia, what do you make of the president's remark?
So again, just like I stated earlier, it depends on the context from which you are looking at this statement. And I don't know what was going on prior to what he's saying, but there are many factors that you can relate to what's going on in Liberia when it comes to the discipline that we have today, right? Or it may not be to the extent maybe he was thinking about, but you and I know growing up, the way society was is totally different from the way it is today. Okay, back in the days, we had parents that were full, and that could be, and this is how I would look at it from that context. Yes, people can politicize it and say, "Oh, he was maybe wrong for saying that people are not trained," but realistically, that is what's going on in Liberia. Okay, in the 80s, it was difficult for anyone to just call people by their first name or to even insult, even if the person was older than you a year by a year. I know some of my cousins that were older than me by a week. They used to put it in my face, and I used to have to respect them based on that. But today in Liberia, it is not the same. And I think some of the reason, yes, the war attributed, but also the people that's supposed to be involved in structuring the family the way it used to be are no longer there. Because the fathers are out looking for resources to maintain our home. The mothers are also out looking for resources to maintain our home. And it's still not there. So at the end of the day, the family structure or the fabric of family is being broken. So yes, people will say things that they hear, in music. Those are the things that now become leading society, that will become training our children. What they hear in music, from the music, what they hear from the wayward guys that are on the sidewalk or in the streets, or gangs or whatever you think about, tend to now lead the structure of society, and that's what happened in Liberia.
Okay.
People are no longer behaving the way they used to be, like you and I when we grew up in the 80s.
Okay, so let me bring Dr. Positive in. Dr. Positive, what do you make of the president's remark?
Yes,
Let's get to it. Let's get to it and let's just move.
yes, Sherry. Thank you again. Thank you. So, I think the president remark we have to look at it deeper, right? The president was talking about somebody that had passed, and I didn't go far back enough to see who had passed. I don't know if it was Doe Funeral or whoever
Yeah, he
Funeral
was,
it
he
was.
was
Grisby. Is
Grisby.
it still
Yeah,
a
Grisby.
presidential
Crispy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at that, the person was a public servant also, right? So he was in my mind from what he said, the context of what he's saying. He said people will not call your good name until you die, right? And even in that state, people make promises to show up to help, and he said nobody some people that promise to show up to help, it never help. But looking at what the president said and what people are focusing on, he said Liberians, he said people are reckless, people are disrespectful, and it's true. There's some real truth in the paper statement. Uh, if you look at what he's saying from a broader perspective, indeed, Liberians are getting to the point where some of us don't even value authority. We don't value uh, the leadership hierarchy anymore. You understand? And then even the positions we have, we don't show value to that position. You understand? We don't show value to the positions we have. So I think when the Papa said that, I kind of agree with him. If we look at it at a broader perspective, the way our country is functioning, you can go to an office for help and people don't even regard you as an individual, as a customer. You're sitting there and people doing whatever they're doing, they don't even regard you. That's complete recklessness in my mind. You understand? And all of us that leave from here to go to Liberia for services, we see how people treat us like you are nothing. Or even people that are in Liberia, they are treated like they are nothing. So I think there's some truth in the Papa's statement, but when it's coming from somebody that big as a father, you look at all your children and say they're reckless. Everybody can get vexed, but I think we have to look at it from the Trump perspective. When Trump said Africa was an a-hole country, everybody got angry, but African leaders started fixing themselves. So Liberians have to start fixing themselves from what the Papa said.
Okay, let me bring Dr. George in. Dr. George, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm so sorry that you missed the introduction of the video, but I think you have listened to the video. I want to bring you, get your own perspective too. Don't go too much in detail. What do you make of the president's remark? You heard that sound clip. You heard the 2 or 3 minute section of the video. What do you make of the president's remark?
Well, the president is the leader of the country. The same way have Mr. Sherry, you are the leader of your family, and my dear friend, Mr. Sapolosia, is the leader of his family. First of all, since I just coming up on the broadcast, let me greet our audience. Good evening. If you are in Liberia listening to us on Freedom FM, I know my mother and sisters are listening. And those of you on YouTube and Facebook, good evening. So, Mr. Sheriff, if you go to a function tomorrow and you tell the people that your house is reckless and your children are reckless, it's a reflection of you as the father. And, it shows that you, the father, you are also reckless. So, the president being the head of the country, the leader of the country, I don't think it was a proper remark. Given the fact, I will take it from Steve first, Steve's perspective. Given the fact, first, he talked about the funeral, how when some of the family members who have come from the funeral, the wife of the deceased have told him that some of the family members have disappeared in the greater United States, which I don't think is something for a president of the country to be saying at that level, at that cabinet meeting level. And the second part of his conversation was trying to appreciate his member of cabinet. In fact, he said he doesn't say it often in appreciating his member of the cabinet, but in his appreciation, he was trying to encourage them by saying that we Liberians, we are reckless. We can say everything, we're all knowing anything. And if cabinet members listen to our reckless talk, they would leave their position, so they should ignore us. So I think that was the contest. And within that contest, being that he's the president of the country, he should not have made that remark. It's like your children making remarks out and you tell them that they're reckless. I don't think you as a father or Mr. Sapolosia as a father will go to a place and tell his children in the public that they are all reckless people.
Thank you, Dr. George, and thank you, Sapolosia. Thank you, Dr. Positive, for your introduction there. But again, I want to go back to, again, context. Context is going to be very key to our discussion today. But before I do so, I'm going to play this here real quick. Dr. George just reminded me because of the father-child relationship.
Boakai will be the most reckless the shortest serving president of this country. You'll be in thing before the year end. If you don't die before that time, well, maybe a battle will boss. My name, my name is number 4 in the pigment paper. Will not swear to you because you will publish it. If they get any paper to move Joseph Boakai today at this time, my name on it. Allah. Number 4, we're 127 people now. And number 4 on the impeachment bill. So it will surface. Joseph Boakai will be the most reckless, the short.
All right, gentlemen. And the reason I played that video, this is a year ago when the president had just taken office not too long when that video surfaced. And in the presence there, I think you see Safoko, who is the representative for District Number 9. You see Jefferson Koji, and you see District Number 10 representative speaking. I don't want to say his name, but he's speaking. I got his personal number. This is someone I talked to, so I have nothing against Mr. Koluba. But basically, you have all of these people, and these are the remarks you hear of your presidents, right? And you myself, we live in a sophisticated society. We are very grateful. Sophisticated society. And even within the sophisticated society, you have people, comedians or people, jokesters, they go out, they say whatever they want to say of the president, but not an open insult you ever hear of, putting it out there about the president. There's still some sort of respect for the president. There's still some sort of respect for the office. But if you have someone who is in a higher up, who is in the House of Representatives, the last time I remember when Obama was president, his second term, he was giving the State of the Nation address when a representative stood up and said, "You lie." That's what our representative said. It became a firestorm in this country. And the disrespect, that man got shamed and everything else took place. And the reason I'm saying this, gentlemen, is because the president is speaking from a place where he see all of these people who are supposed to be role models in society. All these people are coming out and saying things. And so, in my opinion here, when he is speaking to the cabinet, it is an encouragement to tell them, if you mind the noise in the market, you're not going to sell your market or you're not going to buy your food. Because he is encouraging them. Tomorrow when you go on Facebook, someone's going to be insulting you. When you go on YouTube, somebody's going to be cursing you. Does that make you to walk away from your office? So, Dr. George, let me come back to you. I will now go to Mr. Sapolucia because you brought up this parent-child relationship. If my child went out there and said stuff like that to me, go ahead, Dr. George.
Well, we don't have any clip or anybody saying anything to the president. What we have, the clip we have is the head of the country in a cabinet meeting insulting everyone all Liberian that we are reckless.
But Dr. George, I gotta disagree though. What do you mean we don't have any clips of the
president? We don't have clip of anybody of the population of Liberia at the moment should be something like 5 million people. For the president to get in a cabinet meeting and say Liberians, that means the 5 million of all we are reckless. It is not true.
No, but I will push against that again.
There are many Liberians who wake up every morning praying for the president, respecting him. Even in his office, when he walks in his office, there are people who show a lot of respect. People who open the car doors for him, put that how they call it, stand down for him to put his feet on to get in the car. The driver that drive in the morning call him boss man. When you say Liberians, you're talking about the 5 million of us in the country and the rest of us who are out of the country. Those that you are insulting every one of us. If you say some Liberians, I can go to your point. Some Liberians.
No, but Dr. George, that's why I want to push back. I will give you your 30 seconds back. That's why I want to shoot back because I think you are generalizing the president's statement. And for me, I will always speak the
play the statement again.
Because his statement did not say Liberians. He started by saying, especially in the country where we find ourselves, where people are reckless, where people are disrespectful and untrained. And then
which country we find us at?
No, he's talking about Liberia, but he said where people. He said where people. He did not generalize the Liberians because he even go to a point where he says some of them will say things that they don't even know. So I will not generalize the whole thing to say he brought it to the whole population. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Sherry, you can play the video again. The president said that we were reckless people. He said in this country we live in, the country we live in, the country like Liberia. So you cannot say it's not Liberia he's talking to.
No. Well, no, but we don't. You don't
People,
go into the
people
president's
in this
mind.
country we live in, people are, but like the country he was in, and the country he lived in,
No,
like
but you
Liberia.
don't generalize. You don't generalize as a journalist. You're not going to generalize. You're going to stick to the facts. You're going to report what the man said.
Yeah,
So
but the fact is that he said that the country we live in, the people here are reckless. Which country we live in? Now, Liberia.
he didn't say the people. He said country of ourselves, where people. So where people or the people. They when you start the the is a definite article. So when he said the
Uh,
people, that's
yeah.
different. But he said where we find people. He did not
Yeah,
say
it's a
the.
definite article that bring a group to us in a single nutshell. The people of Liberia.
But he
So
didn't say the people. He
it's
didn't
talking
say
about
the
the five.
people. That's what I'm trying to say. He
It's
did
talking
not
about
say
the
the
5 million
people.
of us. Well, Mr. Sharif, the president started his statement. I think the beginning of his statement was not well thought about. It could be better. Liberians are not reckless people. We have challenges in the country. We won't shy but from it. I agree with Mr. Sapolosia. Since the war, but even before the war, because every generation will tell you the next generation they are on train, right? Every generation. I showed the people, the generation before my generation told my generation that we were on train. So it happens. But I would prefer you saying some because they are very good people in very very good people in Liberia. The people who are reckless, who speak out of context, they may be only 5% of Liberians. And these same people are the people that the president party, the Unity Party, trained to be on. Because if you run a talk show in Monrovia, the people who will be calling on the talk show, other than get telephone, they have a SIM cards that are given to them, or what they call the thing name. What I card we call in Liberia name, scratch cards.
I mean, you're taking too much of my time. I want to go to Sabalucia. Mr. Sabalucia, come in. Let's go back to the question of is the president generalize and say all Liberians, like Dr. George is insinuating, or how did you take the president's remark? Is he generalizing or is he making a specific point?
So and again, just like when I started, what I said was we gotta look at it from the context from which the person is speaking. And I also indicated that if you look at what have happened in the last 10, 15 years in Liberian politics, people have been using these words reckless at one another, right? And that could have been from the perspective from which the president was speaking. That's what I said. And I will maintain that because I cannot read the president's mind. However, it is a reality that if you go to Liberia, that Steve mentioned, in public services, people are not performing their duty, right? Because and that's an act of recklessness where I will go to the passport, the foreign affairs ministry for a passport, you tell me it's $25. Okay. And you say expedition is maybe 50 or $75. I give him a $75. And then yet I have to go in every day, or you give me a time. You say, come here 2 days from now, you receive your passport. I go the second day, I don't get it. You tell me come next week, and I will go for a month. I have not gotten an expedited passport. That is being reckless because that's telling me you don't take your job seriously, right? And then my earlier point I made, we should I wouldn't. That's not what I would have used. That's not a statement I would have used if I was the president, right? That's not how I would have addressed that. No matter how frustrated I am, no matter what the situation is. But at the same time, if we want to address this issue, I want us because from my profession, we let us look at the underlying root cause. We want to understand why are things happening the way it's happening. What can the president, as the head of the country, do different that can address some of these issues? Because some of the what he may be referring to that are speaking recklessly or behaving recklessly, some of them may be behaving that way out of frustration of expectation that were set from either their leaders or those people that came to be. So we have to look at all angles. Now, his remark, is it true? Part of it is true. There is. People are reckless in Liberia. People behave on train in Liberia. The fact that even people in government drive in the opposite direction, that has been reckless because you're putting lives at risk. So yes, recklessness is in Liberia. It's nothing to shy away from. But I wouldn't be the president to say it at that level or in that context, especially when you're trying to honor the dead. There where I think we're different when it comes to the context or the place to speak about it.
Mr. Sabolosia, before you end, right? And sorry, I'm breaking in, but before you end, you went to foreign ministry, you had your problem, but I went to national identification card to get my national identification card, the identification registry, and I found the people there to be professional. I stood online. The immigration officer interviewed me. We have fun because the person that was interviewing me did not know Liberia as well as I know Liberia. I know I have many different accents in my mouth. So this person was trying to think they know Liberia. So I'm using the olden time, 1970, 1980, what you say, Korea. They think, yeah, the person became confused. But then another immigration officer who was older of my age came and corrected. I found it to be professional. I sat down. It took me about what, almost an hour to go through the entire process. And everybody was nice and they were kind. They didn't know me from anywhere. I didn't carry any identification beside my face, but they were kind. So when you say Liberians are reckless, what you experience at the passport office is different from what I experienced at the National Identification Registry.
Okay, but I don't want to continue. But
this is where I take control of the. This is where I take control of the show, gentlemen. This is where I take control of the show. Sapolucia, please.
Just a break. Let me just make this point. One thing every one of us here have experienced is the recklessness of traffic. Nobody can tell me say they are immune to that.
Okay, so gentlemen, let me say this here. Because what I want us to stick to, though, I want us to stick to the context. Dr. Paul said, I'm coming to you. I want us to stick to the context of the president's work. When the president is speaking, he is really trying to encourage his cabinet ministers. Do not give up. Don't allow these little things to shake you to the point that you will not want to do your job. Because if you look at it, you look in the dog ear, you will not eat the dog meat. If you want to eat the dog, don't look in the ear. So that's the kind of message that Papa is trying to send to the people. Don't worry too much about all of the noise around you, about the people that go around and curse you and don't appreciate you. People behave recklessly. People behave. But what I don't want to do, though, I don't want to generalize or say that the president was saying all Liberians. That is not what the president was saying. And so Dr. Paul said,
How you know the statement?
I know by listening to the statement. We just played the video. We listened.
Okay, play the beginning again so that our audience can see it.
Okay, Dr. Paul said, we can please bring the video.
I will have to go back a little bit. Let me
come back to the video. But the president was very clear. President was very clear, and he said, "I really want to appreciate each and every one of you guys for what you do, because when you die tomorrow, nobody's going to curse you. When you are there tomorrow, nobody's going to curse you."
But we don't in our culture we don't curse the dead. So why you
No. We were on this very platform, Dr. George. We're on the very platform, and we said some harsh thing about the late Sylvester Grisby.
Because he was alive.
No.
We celebrated.
No, we did not curse him, but when he passed away, we were on the same platform and we were talking about. We said we disagree with his policy. He didn't put things in place that would help Liberians, and we said some harsh things about him. So let's not shy away from what we said.
No, I'm not shy away from anything I said. What I'm saying, in our culture, we don't curse the dead.
Yeah, we may not curse them, but we say some negative things about them.
When they are alive.
No, I mean,
all right.
But anyway, so Dr. Foster, let me bring you in here. Let's go back to the president's statement. I know that video is going to come up. We're going to play it. But let's go back to the president's statement.
Have you ever been to a funeral and said,
Dr. George, I'm going to mute you. I'm going to block you. I'll block you. Dr. Foster, go ahead.
So, Sharif, you didn't finish your statement, but I think I get what you're saying, right? So again, like you were saying, the president's speech or the president's statement, it's about time in Liberia that we put things in perspective, the way things are happening. Because when will we decide to say corruption is corruption? When will we decide to say people are stealing, they are stealing? But the paper is saying some people are reckless in the way they behave as a government official. Look, I have another video where in the Senate, these guys are cussing each other almost every day. They're fighting. They arguing. Somebody was even standing over the speaker. The other video I found, the man standing over the speaker because he asking the speaker to tell him something or to agree to give him a gas card or something, and the speaker wasn't paying attention to him at that time. So this man was standing over the speaker. You understand? So that's recklessness. You don't value your position you're in. You understand? So at some point, you know, somebody have to say something, and too bad it came from our own papi. You understand? Maybe the papi was frustrated after talking to people, after trying to even help his own country. People are still trying to do the same thing. So maybe he was frustrated. Out of frustration, he said that. But in that, as Liberians discuss this, let's not just look at the word reckless. Let's look at the thing that's surrounding our country. Why is Liberia so rich and we still poor? You understand? What is causing all this? Is it corruption? Is it people not doing their job effectively? You understand? And while doing our research, I saw something that said the Papa said he's going to be visiting offices randomly. You understand? Going forward in the future, you'll start visiting offices randomly. And that I think that will find so many people that are doing their job recklessly. And what the Papa is saying will find out that is true. You understand, Chevy? So there's indeed recklessness in our country, that the judge can take the papa's statement any kind of way he say, but me, I agree with the papa. So just tell that the judge, I agree with the papa. So the papa saying Liberian reckless, let's figure out what made us reckless and fix it. I'll
Okay,
stop
so
here and
so on
continue
this
sharing. Yeah.
so on this very platform here, with Dr. John, I will not come back to you anytime soon. I don't think I will listen. On the very platform here, what we're gonna do, moving from the particular point now going forward, we are not
Uh-huh.
going to refer to our president as Pape. We are going to call him Mr. President.
Mr. President, I agree with you. Me, I'm being reckless
So,
when I want
so
Mr. President.
but here it is. I know somebody
The
just
man
sent me a
saw a
message.
video of the people in the Senate and the
Dr. George,
representative. In
Dr.
fact,
George, let me just finish my point. I mean, I will not let you interrupt our show today. I know you haven't been here for 2 or 3 weeks, but someone just sent me a message.
uh-huh.
The person said, Dr. Judge, this is not good. Someone just sent me a message and said, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, on a serious note, though,
Yeah.
on a serious note, let's go to the historical context and I'll come to Sapolucia. Sapolucia just jotted my attention when he brought up our president calling Africa a whole country. I think it was Sapolucia or Dr.
Thief.
Paul. Yeah, yeah. But in the first time the President Trump and Hillary Clinton was running, I think this was back in 2016. Hillary Clinton made a mistake. She said something that energized Trump's voters. She called at the time she referred to Trump's voters as a basket full of deplorables. That was the word that she used. A basket full of deplorables, right? And so the people, though, even those that did not even like Trump at the time, they decided and said, you know what? This lady is rude. This lady is bad. So because of that, they energized the opposition. And because of that particular critical mistake she made, she lost the election. I'm not saying that was the only reason why, but she lost the election. Words have power. I agree with you guys. Words have power, they have consequences. And when the president say recklessness, when he used that word recklessness, when you look at the word recklessness, it's just one of those words that just mean somebody doing things without even caring or without even thinking about the consequences. So I don't think that is the context to use that word, right? Even if you feel few people in the country are reckless, you don't use it in that context because words have power. And but what I want to say here, Dr. Mr. Sapolu says this. You have already alluded to some of the things I was going to allude to, which is we see reckless behavior in the country. We see untrained behavior in the country. But the untrained behavior we kind of referring to, they are not coming from Mamusu, they are not coming from Mahawa, because our parents are still doing their very best to help us to be trained, to help us to not spoil their name tomorrow. That was one message my father put in my head. Don't spoil my name. That's the only thing we have. Don't spoil my name. And so some of us did our best to carry. So basically, though, do you think the president should go back and correct that statement? Or do we just leave it and move forward? Dr. Sapolucia.
I don't know why everybody keep calling me the doctor name here. But anyway, I think one day I will just agree to it and just keep going. I'm not going to be correcting people anymore. But I think for the sake of argument, maybe as a politician, I think he can do that. Maybe clear, or even if he doesn't do it, if I was the president in this position, If I don't do it myself, I will let my press office go back and do a cleanup. We see that in America every day. So I think in the last few years we're used to it, right? But I will go back and clean up and do some clean house just for the sake of my political career. That's what I would do, right? But this is what I think we should be doing instead of just trying, because that would be just like a whitewashing the situation. There is a major problem in our country, whether we like it or not. It is happening. People are on. There are a lot of people in our country that do not do the right thing. They behave untrained. Some people are doing that, and it's not at the lower end. It's mostly from the higher end. Those who are serving in the very offices that they have been either elected or appointed to serve, and that needs to stop. So if the president is really serious about addressing the issue of untrained or reckless behavior, let him start for the most visible one. Let him instruct his police director that henceforth nobody should drive on the opposite side, because that is complete recklessness. It causes death of innocent people all the time. It's not reported, but it is happening. So if the president is really serious, and because I don't want him to just put in the context of the noise in the market, because recklessness is not just the noise in the market. The recklessness that is happening in Liberia is destroying lives. If you want to discuss recklessness, JFK have been lying in ruin. But I can bet you the representatives that have come from that district, or the people that have come from that district, they have their mansions, they have been building mansions. That's recklessness. So there are a lot of reckless things going on in the country that the president can really target or find solution to, than to just put out. In my opinion, this was just a political soundbite. That's what it was to me. It was
Okay.
not ready to address the issue.
Dr. George, let me come to you, boss. You can address anything you want to address, but I'm going to put this question to you. Do you think this particular statement, it is being emphasized because opposition is actually looking at this to be an opportunity for them to politicize issues in the country? Because when the very day that statement was made, Kerry Street, the Atayi Shab was overblown. The entire intellectual discourse open on Kerry Street. I was not there, but my picking was there videotaping and sending me video. And so the entire thing was taking place on Kerry Street. All the intellectuals from Sub, from Suda, they were all on Kerry Street. And so is this being politicized? Is it being taken out of context just to empower or to give extra credit to the opposition?
I don't think so. I
Explain
mean,
yourself. Mhm.
the president said it, and all we're doing is trying to correct the president. Unfortunately, I agree with Sapolo, yeah, but unfortunately, the president press people, his spokespeople, his writers, his handlers have not been able to walk it back to say, oh, the president meant some, and not that in our country everybody is reckless. So I think it was a negative statement. You don't need opposition to hear what the president was saying. The president, maybe he been frustrated by what was happening. He have appointed someone to Nuka, and they have the people at Nuka rejected his appointment. He appointed someone to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the minister.
You politicizing the issue. You politicizing. That's my point exactly. This
No,
is exactly what
I am saying that before that meeting, that may be the president's frustration, because he appointed someone to Nuka, and the chairperson of Nuka did not accept the president. He appointed someone as at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The minister decided that the position the president appointed the president for another rare position, he decided to give who position to the president. So to the president. So if you are a president, you find yourself in that situation, you'll be frustrated. So you will say the people are reckless because you don't want to look at Minister Nimani for the Ministry of Internal Affairs and tell you that this man is very reckless. All the other people who are. And coming to Steve's point, unfortunately, I see that we don't have a lot of time. But coming to Steve's point, yeah, the president should also say the speaker reckless. Why would a member of the national lesson, if he is entitled to gaslit, why would he can't speak to speaker for gaslit? I feel that the speaker is reckless. I'm confused with Steve. I'm just confused. Why with someone who is entitled to something happen to have to go to someone to tell them that this is why I'm entitled to, I'm not getting it, please intervene. That's the crazy. I think that those are the people the president should be talking that they are reckless. So
Okay.
to conclude, I think the president was frustrated that he appointed someone to Noka. The chairperson refused the appointment. He appointed someone to
But Dr. George, Dr. George, I want to say this real quick. You put it. I didn't want you to politicize the thing, but you still politicize it. You make
There's
it.
no politics in there. I'm talking as a member of the Unity Party. The president was frustrated with these two people, and they were in the meeting. They were sitting in the meeting, a cabinet meeting. He had to tell the minister that he was reckless. Unfortunately, he came on it wrong.
but okay, let me do this, guys. I will play one more video. We go into 15 my time today, so we go in 15 minutes out because we came in 15 minutes late. But I will play one more video. Speaking about recklessness, and I want to play this video with caveat, right? Because I am not sure. Because nowadays you got videos circulating on Facebook, on YouTube, and videos everywhere. You will never know whether the person who is speaking is really the person who is speaking. People are very good with AI, deepfakes, and all of these things. So I have not verified this email. I mean, I wanted to reach out to Julius Shah to be able to really get the information, but I have not been able to do so. So I'm going to play with a caveat. This is coming from the former president, allegedly the former president speaking to some comments. And listen to the language the alleged former president is using.
Okay, we have with us former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Welcome, Madam President. It is being spread on social media in quite a viral way that you allegedly are giving some support to the opposition CDC in terms of both financial and material, 15,000 US dollars and some 1,000 bags of cement for their new headquarters project. Is this information true or not?
Julius, I'm glad you said allegedly. I am here on the farm, been here for 3 days, didn't even know what's going on in the city. But let me say this in response. Those people who put this crap, this nonsense on social media, they must just love my name. They must just love me and can't keep their mouth off me. And what they have just said is damn stupid. Anybody who put that crap out there, I say they are damn stupid. Please repeat it for me and put it just.
I'm not going to play the whole video. I just want to stop there for a second. And if this is your former president, which political party she belongs to? Was it UP? Okay. John Palmer, Winston John Rest. Dr. George, come here, have a fun with this one again. But Dr. George, I want to come with you. Let's talk with the former president's speech. She said, if the people, so she's talking about all Liberians, but this particular group of people that put that particular mess out there, she said they are damn stupid. She used it, she said it, you just heard it. So, and she
remind me when Oma didn't get vet and one cause or didn't one cause. Oma says stink. Don't put that. You know that she stabbed. Then she said that muff. You were almost that she was just stinging muff, but the Oma went back in the days. She went back in the days to correct the people. But again, it's frustrating, as we all have been saying, how we propagate messages in circles, what we write about. And sometimes some people don't have all the information, but they spread gossips in the system. And that have led to people losing the elections in Liberia. It have led to people tarnishing other people's characters. And I agree with President Sirleaf. It's shameful. It's shameful to not have all your facts together and to try to ban someone in that way. And it's frustrating. I may not have used the word she used, but she have earned the right. She's a global citizen. She's an eminent person.
Dr. George, let me stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
Why is it okay for her to use the language that she used, and you say you agree with the language, but you are having serious problem with the current president using the words that he used? And even though you can
I don't
see,
have problem with the president using the words he used. I don't. Madam Seti was very specific. Those people who are talking that I give
so
15,000.
did the current president. He did not say all Liberians.
No, he did. He said that in this country where we live in, people are reckless. And when you say people, to me, in my area, you're talking about it, every one of us, the 5 million of us who carry Liberian passport and who are Liberian citizens. You are insulting us that we are reckless. There are good Liberians in the country. The driver that drove in that morning to that meeting must have told him, good morning, boss, open the door for him. The security that opened the door for him. The chair he sat in, the people who put the chair there, those people were not reckless. They were doing a job. So that's the difference between Madam Seti was very specific to a particular, answering a particular question to a particular group of people who have said that she gives $15,000 to the how they call them, to the CDC and pay for some building materials for the new party headquarters. She was specific to those people. But in my opinion, in my mind, the president was not specific. He called every one of us, the 5 million of us that hold Liberian passport, reckless people. And we are not reckless people. We may disagree. We may disagree on policies. We may disagree on issues. I hold the president in high esteem. I have met him several times. I think he's a wonderful gentleman. He's a great person. He has served our country for over 40 years. But that statement, the initial part of it, was not right. And I think his people that handle him, especially the information people, should walk that back and try to clean it up.
Mr. Sabulisha, what do you make of the former president's remark?
So allegedly, because myself, I listened to the entire video of Madam Salif, and AI is a big tool. Is a
No,
good
it's
tool.
not. It's not alert. She actually gave that interview.
Okay, so
yeah,
if it's true that she made that, according to Dr. George, I didn't confirm it, but
she's the only person with real clear phone signal. She on the farm and her phone clear like that. Anyway, go ahead.
Clear, yeah. So Dr. George, as Dr. George has confirmed,
she in the county of the warrior. She's in bombing county, Babulu Bell. What you expect?
Mr. Sabulisha, go with your statement, please.
Yeah. So as Dr. George has confirmed that the former president made that statement. Personally, I think she was again coming out of frustration, just like everyone have alluded to when it comes to the president, the current president. And because I myself follow the trend that she was responding to in that interview. Okay, I saw it on Facebook and I started looking for it in newspapers, but I could not find it in newspapers. So I was looking for a way, but fortunately for us, Julius brought that out. But again, frustration can lead to people. Emotions can lead to anything. Now, have she earned the right, like Dr. George? I would not agree to that because she's a role model for young women who are coming in politics, and she needs to set a better example for those people, because if she start to promote these kind of sentiments or statements, and some young people tomorrow, in fact, just a few days ago, I'm not going to call name, but on one program, if you're following, two ladies were on there. One person used, in my opinion, a demeaning language on the other, and it made headways. It's on Facebook and it's going back and forth, right? People say she's a female, she's a leader, she's not supposed to be using that kind of statement. Here we are, we have a former president, world-renowned leader, female leader, and is using similar worse statement than that person made. And I'm not going to agree with that to try to promote that. But I think she would have addressed it in a better way to distance herself from the rumors, and it would have still served the same purpose. But I wouldn't have suggested her using the same language that she used.
Dr. Paulson, the same question to you. What do you make of the former president? We're about to wrap this up now. What do you make of the former president's statement?
Yeah, so again, the president was angry. Former president was angry at what people said, and I think Dr. George is being a little biased, like Emmanuel said, because the former president said, how can people make statements without any proof, without any facts? And the current president said the same thing in his opening statement that, hey, people would say things without even finding out the truth, right? So I think we have to compare apples and apples if we are making these statements on in support of our public servants. You know, the Papa is trying. Sorry, Mr. Seri. The president is trying his best, and it's frustrating as a leader. And I think I commented on Talia Uri's page. She said that, oh, we disappointed in the Pape. People are even posting that they are disappointed in the Pape. They are sorry they elected him as president. You understand? If they're only taking out the word reckless and not looking at the whole context, like the way we are looking at it, they will start disqualifying the president for some of the good things that he's doing for the country. So I want to admonish Liberians to say, hey, before you make a statement or before you make a decision, whether it's even to go vote or do anything, you want to look at the big picture and see what the person is saying. So our former president was angry and she said what she said, and like Sapolosia said, as a public servant, you want to be careful some of the statements you make before people that follow you will think it's okay to do the same, and then we can try to correct them in the future.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So, what I like to do though, I like for us to try to wrap this up. We've heard, as I have said, for me, honestly, words have power. There were things that were said. In as much as I agree with some of the things that were said, I don't think that was the right platform. I don't think that was the right place to bring about this frustration. Look, if the president got home and took off the shoes and pulled his leg up and he's laying on his sofa, and while he's receiving a massage, and he said, oh my goodness, what a day today. Liberians are so ungrateful. We will have no problem with it. But I want to just kind of remind us historically there have been a lot of things said about world-renowned people, and we still hold those people in higher esteem. It was early in the 1900s when Mahatma Gandhi, when he went to South Africa to fight for rights and freedom for Indians. I'm not talking about Native American here. I'm talking about Indians in India that were migrating to the place there. And he stood up there and he said, Africans are dirty. They live like animals. He used all of those words. But today he's still revered as, someone that people look up to, and people still look at him, that his practices and all of those things. Our current president, he has said some demeaning thing and everything else to other people. There have been political leaders in this country who have actually looked at their own citizens and called them ungrateful. Called them ungrateful and said a lot of horrible things to them. People are people. Our leaders are humans. They feel the same way that we feel. So I think they have that right to actually express themselves. And the only thing that is wrong, honestly, for me, is the context. I mean, where it was delivered and the politicization that have taken place now since the statement was made. But I don't have any problem with that statement. You can make the statement and address the recklessness you see in the country. If you can do so, you got me, you got my vote for the next election cycle. But don't just make a blanket statement just because you're frustrated and do nothing about it. So, Dr. George, let me go to Sapalucia. Let me let you do your closing statement. I will let Dr. George finish. I mean, Stevie will come here and do his closing statement. Dr. George will be the last to lock us up for today. So, Sapalucia, you got 1 minute.
Yes, okay. Thank you to our audience, for all those that are tuning in. We want to say thank you, whether you're in Liberia or wherever you are watching us from. We say thank you for tuning in. But and what we share on here is just what we think is right for Liberia, right? That is why we call ourselves Liberia Shall Rise. And it doesn't matter what our various ideology or thinking are, we still mean it well for Liberia. But on that note, I think our leaders, if they are really trying to set or make things right, they should do it with actions and not by words. Why the true words are powerful? Those words will only mean something if you are really acting to address the issues that are affecting our people. If the current president is really serious to address recklessness in this country, let him start with his own government. Let him start by asking the police director, as of Monday, September 8th, there should be nobody driving in the opposite direction. In my opinion, if he starts to do that and start working, then we're talking something. But if you're not going to do anything about recklessness, then let the street vendors and let the Yana boys and whoever, those who want to be a noisemaker in the market, let them say it. With that, I want to say thank you guys for sharing the platform with me, and you have a wonderful weekend.
Dr. Positive, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sharif. Again, guys, thank you so much. It's been a while. I've been away from you guys. I missed this, but again, thanks for welcoming back on your team. To our fellow Liberians, we hear things in the news, we hear things on the radio, we hear things on social media, and like my brother said, there are deep fakes going out around the internet. So before we make any conclusion in statement that people make, let's do our research and kind of look at the whole picture, watch the whole video, and look at the whole context of the person's speech. Because politicians will take some little part of a person's speech and turn it into something negative. So we don't want to do that to you. We don't want you to do that to yourself or even to our country, because these things can help us to elect the wrong people, because someone would know how to take something that somebody said and turn it into something negative can always win an election. So let's be careful when we hear people speaking and try to look at the whole picture and analyze it for ourselves to help us make our decision. On that note, we want to say thank you for watching Liberia Shall Rise. We appreciate your time. Let's all do our best to make Liberia a better place. Thank you.
All right, Dr. George, you on the clock, sir.
Yeah, to our viewers in Liberia and those of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, when you are given an assignment to lead people, your number one duty, in my opinion, is to motivate the people. Even if they are weak, they are tired, they are falling, it is always good to motivate them. And I believe the beginning of the president's statement was not in line with what a leader should do. Yes, there are some of us in Liberia who are reckless, but there are thousands of Liberians who every day are doing their best to make ends meet. So I strongly believe the president who have rewarded his words. Again, have a wonderful week ahead. We look forward to talking to you next weekend on this platform. We come on Sunday, and keep sharing our show and keep discussing Liberia Shall Rise. Bless you and have a beautiful, beautiful second week of September.
All right, to my fellow panelists, you guys, it was a great show. It was good having each and every one of you guys here. Dr. Positive, Dr. George, we missed you, man. We want to hear that golden voice on the platform again. I hope we can be here next week. Mr. Sapalucia. It's good to have it. Mr. Sapalucia, I get confused because I got Dr. George, I got Dr. Positive. So,
yes, Dr. Positive, a fake doctor. So I don't want to be a fake doctor.
Well, no, thank you guys. It was a fruitful discussion. I think the discussion was great. I think you guys all.
I think we're going to bring an LU thing in it, but how would do it next week?
Oh yeah, we did like LUT, and no, but you see, one of the things, we're still live in Liberia.
Yeah, we're still live, gentlemen. So let's close the show, and we'll definitely discuss behind the scenes. But yeah, but gentlemen, we look forward next week. It's going to be another edition of Table Talk, Dr. George. I think we're going to go Table Talk next week.
Yeah.
So definitely we'll come up with another interesting team. And to our viewers in Liberia, those around the world on YouTube and Facebook, we say thank you for always joining us.
Oh, this is not Dr. George, this is Emmanuel.
And Chris and his team in Monrovia on Freedom FM 87.9. We said thank you. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you guys next week. Please continue to share our broadcast.
Yeah, he and I are on a show right now, on the live.
Bye-bye.
Liberia Shall